Trip on the 11 point has began at Cane Bluff Access, and we will take out at Riverton Access in a couple days. We dropped off all our gear, and Debbie, Leslie, and Josh packed up the boats, and Dustin and I we went and shuttled the vehicle down at the end point. So when we get there, we'll have a vehicle to load everything back onto and come back up here to pick up the second vehicle.
Now there's a log. Whoa. The water coming out of the solar. That's
we're what was it, 3.2 miles I think in from the put in there at Cane Bluff. Found us a good gravel bar, so plenty of room for us. Nice night. We're now leaving. Be our second morning of the trip, and hoping to put in 10 miles ish today. Shouldn't be any problem because we made 3 hours yesterday in, I think it was a little over an hour, or 3 miles in a little over an hour yesterday. That was a little bit of a tight corner, but going down the right side of that split, it was going to push us right into a big strainer. Pretty good flow, so I don't know if we could have avoided that or probably would have had to bounce off of it. Who knows how that would have turned out. I got a good idea how it would have turned out, and I didn't want that. Lower water, that could be an issue. So right now we're paddling up the mouth of the spring branch, trying to look for a spot we can maybe pull over and find this trail that goes up to the spring itself, 1.5 miles in. A little bit of a struggle, but it's doable right here. Well, we paddled up the spring branch just a little bit, bushwhacked this one side, no sign of a trail. Water was getting pretty fast, so we couldn't paddle any further, and I don't think there's a trail. If someone knows different than that, let me know. So if we ever come here again, we can hike up there.
Maybe. But seems to be less so.
paddled into Turner Mill North and have tied our kayaks and canoe up. First remnant of the mill we found is this giant water wheel behind me. I'm seeing water falling up here, so I'm guessing right up in front of me is the spring, and it's came down the spring branch a little bit, but it's probably, we're guessing from 20 to 30 foot tall. The old water chase over there. Water came through the old water chase over the top of the wheel. So we are looking for camp at any point now. We see a good rock bar, or we may make it down to a float camp. Seeing several of those on the map, but not sure what that is. The night of Camp 2, we've left, got up, packed up, had some breakfast, and we were actually camped right across the river from Stinking Pond float camp. So we kind of came back in here, realized where it was at. Now we have actually seen a sign that there is a float camp. Appears at this point it would be very buggy, a lot of stagnant water. So I did go up to what was considered the camp, and there was a picnic table, but so much mud had washed in there from that hollow, there's no way I would have set a tent up in there. If I'd have camped there, I would have put my pad and sleeping bag on top of the picnic table and probably got eaten by bugs all night. There's a real neat bluff here as you come back off the river. This is our second float camp of the morning, this one being Horseshoe Bend Float Camp. Kind of had to go up a little bit of a sand hill there, back in the trees here a little bit, and it opens up. I'm seeing a picnic table, a couple large fire grates. That was a way more usable float camp than the first one we seen. I think it could still be a little buggy just because of the kind of back in the trees and stuff, but definitely worth a try. Seems to be less gravel bars as we get down the river a little bit further. Not that there's not some you can't find and put a tent up on, but float camps are an option. Barn Hollow Float Camp, number 3 for the day. I do see a picnic table, overgrown. Again, it looks like bugs would be an issue this time of year, I would think, and then later into the summer.
It's hard. Push it down. Oh, there's a spring coming out.
Didn't make the spring, but we found us a sweet lunch spot. Could be Bliss Hollow Camp, I'm not sure. But there's a neat fireplace behind me and all kinds of nice big rocks and logs set on for lunch in the shade. Mm-hmm.
Dragonfly. It's so pretty. Look at it, black. It's got black wings. Big old. That's a bone. It's like if you really had to, you could probably make them work, but they weren't the best.
Yeah, not ideal by any stretch.
Paddling White's Creek. If we can make it to the end of it, based on the map, we will make it to Fiddler's Spring. In our quest for Fiddler's Spring, we have resorted to walking. Leaving camp from our third night out, so we'll be making it out. We got 3 miles to our takeout. A mile downstream, we're going to hit, I believe it's called Bowes Mill, and I think there's a big spring there. Just a little short paddle up the spring branch with the dam there behind me, the downside of it. The wall is probably 10 foot tall, and then the remnants of a turbine mill. Seeing the Riverton Bridge right in front of us, and our takeout is right before that. So this is going to be the end of our trip.